Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. Another day, another dollar. Once again, more Chelsea news. This is never ending, people. But I think today's the first day where I can truly say my opinion that we are getting some light at the end of the tunnel. Finally. It's looking like it's actually happening. Anyway, we're going to get to that. Before we do, we have to talk about what went down last night. We just have to. Oh my goodness. Manchester City, Real Madrid, Rodrigo, Ancelotti, Pep. What happened? Here's the thing, yeah. I'm now convinced Manchester City will never win the Champions League ever. Man City are moving like the English PSG now. They're that club that no matter what you do to it, they just will never win this competition. They just wouldn't. Luckily, we've won it twice, so we know what it's like. But Manchester City, talk about suicide. Now, I don't want to get too much on Pep Guardiola's case, because if he managed to hold on for 1 or 2 more minutes in that game, right, if some buts and maybes, that's the whole flipping point. But if he'd managed to do that, then he'd be called a genius, you know, for bringing off Mahrez, for bringing off De Bruyne, bringing on Fernandinho, closing up shop, protecting the lead. Oh, they've done it. They're in the final. Beautiful tactics. But it completely backfired. And it was something that just wasn't worth the risk. It just wasn't. You're playing Real Madrid. You're not playing, with all due respect, I don't know, I was going to say Frankfurt, but they're in a semi-final as well. Like, you're not playing just, Shakhtar Donetsk. You're not playing FC Basel. Again, respect to those clubs. You're playing Real Madrid, who's proven to you what they can do in terms of the last minute or the last 10 minutes of a game. PSG, the comeback. Chelsea, you saw it. We scored 3 at the Bernabeu. We still lost. Lost the tie. Didn't lose the game, but we lost the tie. This is Real Madrid. You're taking a risk. Man City were complacent in those last 5 minutes. Pep thought he pulled off a blinder by taking off KDB. I mean, that's suicide in itself. Against Real Madrid, you're taking off one of, if not, some would say, the best player on that team. You're taking off Mahrez, who managed to get that goal and was a nuisance on that right-hand side for Manchester City, to bring on Fernandinho to try and, close up shop a little bit and give Real Madrid more of the ball at the Bernabeu when they're chasing a result. I mean, it's suicide. And Pep once again bottles it. But Real Madrid, I mean, Carlo Ancelotti, taking off Toni Kroos once again. Rodrigo, go on, mate, go on the pitch. Bish, bash, bosh, 2 goals, 2 minutes, done. He done it against Chelsea, he done it against City. However, will he do it against Liverpool? Here's the thing now. Congrats to Real Madrid, they're in the final. I still think Liverpool win that final, though. Although, if there is one team that will defy the odds and beat Liverpool on that day, it would be Real Madrid, wouldn't it? It just would be. And can you imagine if Real Madrid were to beat Chelsea, City and Liverpool? We'd be in the mud. All of us would be in the mud. But anyway, good luck to Real Madrid in the final. It's going to be a stellar final, Liverpool versus Real Madrid. And Man City, Pep, his future. What's going to happen now? Because each season comes by, money gets spent, nothing happens. In Europe, at least. I mean, not domestically. In Europe, nothing happens. Is it the end for Pep? Do they need change? We'll see what happens. Now, Chelsea Football Club, big development that has come out in the last 5 minutes of the recording of this video. I'm about to give you my opinion on this, because I was going to tell you some news, which I'm going to come to the end of the video. But Chelsea have released a statement. Roman Abramovich apparently has released a statement via Chelsea Football Club, but Chelsea are the ones releasing the statement. Let's get into it. Let's read it, because Chelsea have clarified the situation. And if this is true, what I'm about to read to you guys, if it's true, oh boy, all of these journalists are in the mud. Every single one of them. Well, we'll get into it. Check this out. Official statement by Roman Abramovich on the sale of Chelsea Football Club. Mr. Abramovich has not asked for any loan to be repaid to him. Such suggestions are entirely false. Let's read the whole statement. Following speculation in media in relation to the sale of Chelsea FC, we would like to clarify the following points. Firstly, Mr. Abramovich's intentions in relation to gifting the proceeds from the Chelsea sale to charity have not changed. Since the initial announcement, Mr. Abramovich's team has identified senior representatives from United Nations bodies and large global charitable organizations who have been tasked with forming a foundation and setting out a plan for its activities. The lead independent expert has had conversations with government representatives presenting the structure and initial plans. Mr. Abramovich has not been involved in this work and it has been managed independently by experts with years of experience working in humanitarian organizations. Secondly, Mr. Abramovich has not asked for any loan to be repaid to him. Such suggestions are entirely false, as are suggestions that Mr. Abramovich increased the price of the club last minute. As part of Mr. Abramovich's objective to find a good custodian for Chelsea FC, he has, however, encouraged each bidder throughout this process to commit investing in the club, including in the academy, women's team, necessary redevelopment of the stadium, as well as maintaining the work of the Chelsea Foundation. Very, very quickly, that point about having to have money injected into the club, an increase in price. If you remember, that was the £500 million that was reported everywhere about the price having gone up by 500 million. Right? We're going to come to that. Anyway. Following sanctions and other restrictions imposed on Mr. Abramovich by the UK since announcing that the club would be sold, the loan has also become subject to EU sanctions, requiring additional approvals. That means that the funds will be frozen and subject to a legal procedure governed by authorities. These funds are still earmarked for the foundation. The government are aware of these restrictions as well as the legal implications. To be clear, Mr. Abramovich has no access or control of these funds and will not have any access or control of these funds following the sale. Despite the changing circumstances since his initial announcement, he remains committed to finding a good custodian for Chelsea FC and making sure the proceeds go to good causes. End of statement. Now, I thought I'd do a little bit of digging, because Chelsea have come out and clarified the situation here and said that Abramovich isn't interested in the sale of the club in terms of the money generated, right? He's still committed that goes to a charitable foundation that he's happily set up. The loan that was so widely reported in the last couple of days, I even gave my thoughts on it all. Apparently, that isn't going to be accessed by Roman Abramovich. It's been frozen. So what we mentioned in yesterday's video was correct, but Roman isn't after it. Apparently, according to him and Chelsea Football Club, he's not after it. Okay? And the £500 million that was rumoured to be an additional increase on the price of the sale of Chelsea Football Club, apparently that's not true. So, okay, if that's not true and Chelsea have clarified the situation, I thought I'd do a little bit of digging. Who reported it? Let's have a look and see who reported that Chelsea have increased the price of the sale by £500 million. Let's start exposing. Metro. First article. Now, you don't really expect much from Metro. My own opinion, Metro, The Sun, is what it is. Anyway, Metro. SI. Though they're based in Spain, if I'm not mistaken. The Telegraph. That's big. That's where Matt Law writes. Now, I'm not saying Matt Law has written all of this, but the Telegraph have reported it. The Mirror have reported it. The Athletic have reported it. Football London have reported it. The Daily Mail have reported it. Football Express have reported it. The Daily Star, again, not really one of my go-to sources. Let's have it right. The Times have reported it. 90 Minutes have reported it. Sky have reported it. Everyone has reported it. So if Chelsea Football Club are correct in this, every single one of them are in the mud. Why are you reporting false information? You know, these are meant to be proper journalists, you know, that people, including myself, get information from, right? Now, if they're spouting nonsense, who do we trust? Who do we trust? It's shocking. I expect it from a few of them that I read, right? We won't mention names, but you know the deal. But there's some of them there that I look at and go, yo, you're meant to be connected to Chelsea. Like, proper connected. What's going on? How come Chelsea are now saying it's not true? Now, we could flip it, and we could say that this statement that Chelsea Football Club have released, well, is that true? Is everyone right? And Chelsea are trying to maybe just, put water on the fire a little bit, cool things down, make it seem like everything's okay, everything's going as planned. Truthfully, you and me, we don't know. But I'm just saying, this is big. If Chelsea Football Club are finding it to the point where they need to release this statement and clarify the situation, right? And they're telling the truth, every single one of these news outlets that I've reported, that I've just mentioned, you've become unreliable. Like, it's that deep. It's that deep. Shocking. I found it shocking. When I read that statement came out, I'm like, hang on. Because I remember looking up this story. Whenever I decide to do a video, I always show you where I get this information from. Right? And I don't, again, there are certain places I don't quote from. You know the deal. Go and watch my videos and see if there's any of these news outlets that I don't include in my videos. You'll be able to put 2 and 2 together. But the ones that I do are the ones that I know are connected to Chelsea Football Club and are reliable. So I'm shocked that they have reported that there's a increase in £500 million, but Chelsea have now said, no, that's entirely false. That's not true. What's going on, people? What's going on? Unbelievable. Sums up media today. Nowadays, media completely... you don't know what's true anymore. That's just the truth. You just don't know what's true anymore. Anyway, let's move on from this. That's the latest from Chelsea Football Club. Ben Jacobs, and again, I'm quoting now because we don't know what's true or what's not true anymore. That's just the truth. After today, we simply don't know. But Ben Jacobs has reported on the Todd Boehly consortium and the latest in relation to the exclusivity deal that's in place for them to wrap up the sale of Chelsea Football Club. Let's get into it. And this is the light at the end of the tunnel that I was talking about. Boehly Clearlake takeover of Chelsea is now very close to completion. Rain sources tell me Wednesday talks were highly productive and no alternative options are being explored. Sources within Boehly Clearlake say they've remained calm and are confident they will own. The handling of Abramovich's $1.6 billion in loans has provided some late drama. Boehly Clearlake bid initially presumed a debt-free purchase. If funds covering debt are frozen by the government, then $1.6 billion will remain in limbo for now. That will be enough to complete a sale by May 31st. Now, I do want to say that does go in hand with what Chelsea have just said, because that has been frozen. The loan has been frozen, and apparently that will be earmarked by the foundation down the line. So... To an extent, it won't be involved in the sale process. So happy days. Anyway, we keep reading. This plan doesn't fully resolve the debt, the original hope, but it does suspend it and allow a sale to go through. It will be interesting to see what happens if and when sanctions against Abramovich are lifted. So are sanctions going to be lifted at some point down the line? Okay, cool. Let's keep going. Boehly Clearlake, like Broughton, were never prepared to engage or pay Camberley. The main reason is because they couldn't do any due diligence and be sure who the money would go to. Well, now, if you're taking Chelsea's statement in hand, you don't need to worry about that because apparently that's not what's going to happen anyway. So it's all good. It seems like Todd Boehly is about to wrap up this deal and there's still a few days remaining. So I think it's safe to say Todd Boehly and Clearlake are about to take over Chelsea Football Club. I'll be surprised now if it doesn't happen. So start preparing. In the next few days, we'll be getting, I think, an official announcement that it's all done and dusted and Todd Boehly will be taking over. So we'll wait and see what happens. To wrap up this video, 2 pieces of information that I wanted to share with you. Firstly, N'Golo Kante, new contract. Chelsea would like to extend N'Golo Kante's contract. That's from Fabrizio Romano. Happy days because we know that it's tough at the moment in terms of our midfield situation. But if there is one player that you'd expect to keep, it would be N'Golo Kante. Would he be involved as much? I'm beginning to think that maybe not. As next season comes in, we might have to, obviously, we'll bring in a defensive midfielder, I think. Maybe he would be starting to use as rotation. But if you're looking at Kante and Jorginho, whose contracts are expiring next season, or at the end of next season, it's more likely that Jorginho is going to be going because it's been made clear that he does eventually want to go back home. He's not in a rush, but he wants to go back home. So Kante, I think, is the one that's going to be offered the new deal. Jorginho, I think Chelsea will begin to start exploring, especially with new owners. Okay, if anyone's interested in Jorginho, we'll bring in a new midfielder. We'll just start this process now, and good luck to Jorginho if he does go back home, because that's eventually where he wants to end up. So we'll wait and see what happens. But Kante, new contract, I'm all for it. And hopefully we get a new defensive midfielder and, Gallagher coming back, and we start really popping up our midfield again. That would be lovely jubbly. And to end the video on a high note, I found this was nice, yeah? Chelsea FC tweeted this. Have a look. Best in the business. There we go. Thomas Tuchel, Emma Hayes, you gotta love it. This is them collecting their FIFA awards that was that was announced at the beginning of the year, and I think the actual awards have only just arrived to Chelsea. So Thomas Tuchel and Emma Hayes, each of them with a trophy, each of them as best men's coach and best women's coach for the year. Congratulations to both of them. Clearly they have a very good bond. That's very nice to see. These two managers are fantastic. Let's have it right. We are in very good hands. On a footballing level, we are in very, very good hands. The men are in very good hands. The women are in very good hands. I mean, Emma Hayes is a Chelsea legend. Let's have it right. The last 9-10 years, I think, of service has just been trophies. It's been non-stop. So fair play to Emma and fair play to Tommy T, and let's hope we back him. I think we will. I think there's the plan in place. Todd Boehly knows exactly what he's going to be doing in terms of the team and structure and all of that. So I expect Thomas Tuchel to have a big say in all that's going to be coming forward. And to be backed, and let's start winning again properly. You know, we're talking the league, we're talking domestic success, we're talking consistency, we're talking remaining at the top. Like, yeah, we got to get back there. You know, not the odd piece of silverware here and there. We're better than that. Come on, let's do it. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Man City, Real Madrid. Like I did say at the start of this video, the Chelsea statement. Your thoughts. The media. Who do you trust? The club? All the media outlets, including the reliable ones, who are now not so looking reliable, or not looking so reliable. Tell me, I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. And N'Golo Kante, Tommy T, Emma Hayes, let me know your thoughts down below. Much appreciated. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash the like button if you've enjoyed this. I will see all of you tomorrow for a brand new video. Have a good one, people. See you tomorrow. Take care and peace.